moment with me. My name is Miss Lizzie. I don't ever smoke the dizzy, but we can always share some ditties. It's just a cup in time. This song doesn't have to rhyme. Life's all of us, not every moment we can be feeling fine. I wanna share a moment, just a second if you will, maybe even a cup of thrill. We could share this performance. It's tea time, come sit with me.
Well, welcome everybody. Miss Liz in the house. That's right. I am back. And yes, it is not a scheduled day. It's a Wednesday, because we have to rearrange sometimes for family. Family always comes first in Miss Liz's book. And with all my guests, we try our best to just stay connected and get you guys out there. Before we get started, we're gonna get everybody over to Miss Liz's YouTube channel, Spotify, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of that good places, Facebook, the platforms, TikTok. And tonight we have a guest that's coming in all the way from Uganda. That's right. We are talking about education and young little ones. And you know how Miss Liz loves the youths and the children. So let's get that story out there. But before we get started, we're going to do the disclaimer. And then I have a beautiful intro. And we're going to get Nancy Kimumwe, I think is the way to pronounce her name. I'll get her to say her name to make sure that I'm pronouncing it right. But let's get started with the disclaimer. A disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz's Tea Time is a global platform dedicated to sharing real life stories, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations that inspire awareness, healing, and connection. Miss Liz is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment during the live broadcast, please grant StreamYard permission to display your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that all the content brought forward during any Tea Time show is presented in good faith. However, discussions may include opinions, beliefs, and perspectives that do not necessarily represent the views of Miss Liz or the Tea Time platform. Information shared by guests is based on their own experiences and is perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All guest viewers and participants are responsible for using their own good judgment when considering any action or decisions that may relate to these discussions. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to trauma, abuse, grief, mental health, and other emotionally triggering subjects. Listeners and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Tea Time with Miss Liz is an open discussion forum designed to offer insight, inspire awareness, and create connection. It is not a substitute for professional, medical, legal, or therapeutical advice. If you require professional support, please seek assistance from qualified professionals or trusted resources in your area. If you have any questions regarding this disclaimer or any content of the discussion, you are welcome to contact me, aka Miss Liz, directly at my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com or visit my link tree at Miss Liz's Tea Time. By choosing to participate in, comment on, or view these live shows, you acknowledge and accept this disclaimer. Your participation is entirely voluntary. Miss Liz welcomes you to join the conversation with an open heart, and if at any time you feel this platform is not right for you, I respect those wishes and decision and welcome you back whenever you are ready. Tea Time with Miss Liz is serving truth and awareness one cup at a time. Now, let me give you a little bit. Well, welcome everyone to Tea Time with Miss Liz tonight, where awareness pours into action and every conversation plants a seed of change. Tonight, we head across the globe to Uganda, where hope is taking the shape of opportunity, education, and compassion. Joining us is the remarkable Nancy Kimumwe from the Gregory Children and Youth Organization. Nancy is a dedicated advocate for young people's futures, working tirelessly to ensure that every child has access to the tools, support, and confidence they need to thrive in school and in life. Through community-driven initiatives and their annual back-to-school outreach, she is helping students overcome barriers and step boldly towards their dreams. Today, Tea Time invites us to see education not as a privilege, but as a lifeline, a path that transforms poverty into possibilities, a chance for children to rise with knowledge, dignity, and belief in their potentials. So let's open our hearts, listen deeply, and learn how small acts of support can create lifelong change. Let's welcome Nancy to the table. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you.
So, Nancy, tell me a little bit about who you were as a little girl and who you are now.
First of all, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And thank you so much for hosting us as Gregory and me as Nancy on your show. I'm called Nancy Kimwana, and as a little girl, I was this shy, quiet. I would fear people. One time I remember visitors would come at home, and then I would feel like I should not come and greet them because I was shy. I would fear them. I would fear to associate with people. I didn't know why, but as I grew up, I started loving to stay with people. I wanted to know, I wanted to learn how people associate in different families. Because as me, I grew up in an extended family, a family of very many mothers and very many children. But still, since I was with my mother, we were five, and particularly I was the last born. But I would fear staying with people, associating. If a new person comes at home, I feel like locking myself inside the house. But when I grew up and went to school, I learned how to associate with people, and it was fun associating with people.
Well, Nancy, I have some questions that came in for you, but I want to get your tea out there because the tea that you gave me is sports, games, empowerment, and the story of education is the tea that you gave me, Nancy. Um, I want to get into the tea of the Youths, Gregory Youths, Children and Youths Organization. How did you come about the name and how did you start it?
Gregory Children and Youth Organization. It started like a family thing. Like for me and my colleagues, when we started this, basically me, it was out of experience. When I was growing up, I didn't get all the needs. I did not get that love. I grew up in the village. I was not able to go to school, not because I was not able, but because at some point we were vulnerable. My parents were not able to afford me going to school. But at some point, there was a friend, someone who came in the village, and he wanted to see how education was being taken in our village. So when he came, I was one of the beneficiaries. I benefited. He took me to school. I studied from nursery up to primary 7. I went to the secondary and then I reached the university. So because of that, I was like, after that, I would come back and be an example. I never wanted people from the villages or children who are there outside in the village to be going through what I went through. That's why we sat down as a team, another colleague of mine who came out with the same issue or the same background as I had. So we sat down and came out with this idea of children and youth organization. The name Gregory, I personally was the one who came out with that name because the person who came out to help us to help me go to school was called Mr. Gregory. So that
Oh,
was the only thing that I would do for him as remembrance to, to make sure that at least I appreciated his efforts in what he did for me. So we came up with that name, Gregory Children and Youth Organization. And when we came up with that, it was basically education. Because here in Uganda, there are a lot of children who are not able to access education. They are vulnerable. Most of the times, it is because in the villages they cannot access better education. Some of them are orphans. Some of them, their parents are not able to get money to facilitate their education. So we took it as an advantage and a chance to be able to help those children so that they can be able to go to school and access education. That is why we came up with that idea of Gregory Children and Youth Organization. Yes.
Nancy, is somebody listening to the broadcast in the same room as you?
Sorry?
Is somebody listening to the broadcast in the room with you?
Yes.
Are they on a phone? Because I'm getting a double echo of what you're saying. So they can still listen to the event, but they have to turn their sound down because I'm getting like a double echo, and I want to get the good content and information out there to the listeners.
Okay.
So Nancy, I want to talk to you about the education in Uganda because where I'm from in Canada, our children they don't have to pay for education. Where in Uganda they have to pay for education. So I want my listeners to understand the difference of how education in your country is. It's not a privilege. It's you have to really work for it. So if you could share that a little bit with the listeners out there.
In our country, there is education. Yes, we have education that they provide, but still, most of the times, they only cater for like 40%. The other 60 is supposed to be under the parent or the caretaker. When the government comes in, the government only takes 40%, of which if it is the school fees, it can only, if someone is paying like 700,000 shillings, Ugandan shillings, the government can only come in and pay 200,000 shillings. And then the other 500,000 shillings is supposed to be facilitated by the caretaker or the student. So somehow, somewhere, it becomes hard and difficult for some of the parents or some of the caretakers to manage or to afford the school fees. That is why most of them are lagging behind in the villages. They are not able to get school fees. That amount of money seems to be very big for them. Some of them are in the villages, they have nothing to do. Someone is surviving on gardening, and when they're in the villages digging, the families are big. Some of these children are orphans, they are abandoned. When parents die, the mother dies, the father abandons them there. Or the father dies, the mother abandons them there, and then they go with another man. When they go with another man, they're always being left behind with their grandmothers. The grandmothers are not able to take care of them, or they cannot go to the garden, they cannot work. And another thing is, in Uganda, a lot of people are not working. They're jobless. They cannot be able to raise money to get school fees. That is why children are outside there suffering. You find them on the streets. So we came up with this idea, wanting to curb that problem. A lot of children are outside there. They're on the streets. roaming from here, there, causing a lot of unemployment, a lot of confusion. They're not doing anything, they're not busy, they don't know anything. So we decided to come up with this idea so that whatever or whoever child is outside there who is not at school, if we can be able to afford to bring them, to take them to school, so they can be able to do something for themselves that will help them in future. Yes, that is
Absolutely.
why. Then
Absolutely,
there are
Nancy. And that's what I want to get out to my listeners is that a lot of people take education as a privilege when it's not a privilege, it's a right. Every child has a right to education. And we really got to
yes,
stop changing that it's a privilege. Not every child has that right to get education. And that's why I wanted to have you on the platform and to get your story out there and to get the organization out there because in your country, the children are left as orphans, and those are the orphans that we need to get educate and get their education for them. And that's where we come in, and that's how we can help support communities like yourself. Whether we're in a different country or not, we can still help another child get education. As little as a school bag, a uniform, a donation. These are little things that we can help these children to get their education. And that's why I wanted Nancy and Gregory's Children and Youth organization on Teatim because I want people to stop the ignorance and stop saying, you know what, just because they're in a different country doesn't mean we can't help them. Yes, we can help them. Little by little, we can all make a difference and we can all change a child's life when we start stepping up and being an example. And that's why, Nancy, I wanted you on the platform. And that's why I am a big supporter of education worldwide, not just in my country, but across the globe because these children do matter as well. Nancy, we have a question that came in and it says, what was the moment that made you realize education could be the key to the lasting change in your community?
okay. When I graduated, when I was, I take myself as an example. When I graduated in our country here, if you don't go to school, you don't get jobs. That is where I decided to think that education is a key thing. It is something that leads to your well-being in Uganda. And it is the only thing that we have. If you don't go to school, you don't get jobs. There are no jobs here in Uganda unless if you have a degree, unless if you have a certificate, you have a diploma, that is when you can get something to do. But even there are some people outside there, they have degrees, but they are not doing anything. They don't. So if someone is being deprived of that education, of the chance to be educated, they will always be behind. They will not see that good life. They will not be able to take care of their families. They will not be able to look after themselves. That is why we decided that at least me, if I was able to go to school, and education is someone's right, it is a right for everybody to be educated. But somehow, for us here in Uganda, it is not a right. Because if it was a right, it would be free. Everybody would be able to go to school. Yes, everybody would be able to go to school. But here, if you don't have money, you will not go to school. Even if at some point it is supposed to be sponsored. As I said in the beginning, it may be sponsored, but the government will take only 40%, and the 60% is going to be on caretaker, which means everything is supposed to be sponsored. It is supposed to be paid. You cater for it. It makes it not to be a. If you want to be well, sponsor yourself and go to school. That is what it is here in Uganda. Yes.
So
So me,
Nancy, we have a question that just came in, and it says, "What challenges do children in Uganda face today when it comes to staying in school?"
the challenges that they face when they're at school, there are a lot of challenges in Uganda. Children who are at school in Uganda, they face a lot of challenges. One, security. There's no security. Most of them, you find children being assaulted at school. When they're at school, they're assaulted. You find that there is a student who has died at school. Then you find that at school, but they don't get whatever is required at school. They don't get basics, the basic requirements, that they don't get them. The knowledge that they're supposed to get is being paid for. Sometimes the teachers are there, but if you want a teacher to coach you, there is that they is this when it comes to private tuition, you have to go and meet the teacher privately. You pay them so that they can coach, which becomes a little expensive when they're at school. And another challenge is provision. When children are at school, mostly the new ones, when they go to school, they're still new, they join. There is always that kind of bullying. They're always bullied, which leads to sometimes some of them die, some of them get injuries, they get health complications. Environment in which they are is always not good. Sometimes the environment is not good, it doesn't favor them. They're always sick, they don't eat good food, the feeding is not okay, where there's a lot of congestion, the rooms are not okay, the beddings are not okay. Those are challenges that they face.
Nancy, a question just came in. Does your organization work with boys and girls, or just girls?
Sorry?
Does your organization just work with boys or girls, or both?
Excuse me, I didn't get you very well.
Does the organization work with just boys or girls, or both?
It works with both.
Okay.
Here at Gregory, we don't segregate. As long as you're vulnerable, you are a boy, you are a girl, we work with everybody. We work with both of them. We don't segregate because we want to give everybody a chance. We want to accept everybody the way they are. We want to welcome. We want to give everyone a chance to associate, to work, and to see the world in different perspectives. That is why we welcome everybody. We don't have any limits. This is a boy or this is a girl. We work with both.
We have a comment that came in, and it says, "Talk about the poor standards of some schools in the villages." What are some of the standards?
Sorry,
What are some of the poor standards of some of the schools in the villages? Can you give us some examples, Nancy?
schools in the village.
I'm gonna pull it up on the screen so you can see.
Okay.
If you can talk about that a little bit.
Poor standards. Okay. The the poor standards of schools in the villages. Yes, the standards are poor because the structures, the infrastructures, the roads that lead to school are always not good. The buildings are not okay. In the villages, kids are under the tree, they're studying outside, they don't have scholastic materials, they write on the floor, they write using charcoal, classrooms congested, the feeding poor, and teachers are not of good quality. They just put the villages and pick anybody. They don't first interview them, they don't test their ability. They don't know if they are able to teach, they qualify teachers or not. That is what happens in the village. And with that, environment that poor structure, not okay. Because the roads that take children to school are always not okay. When it rains like this, sometimes the river crosses and children are not able to go to school. You find that in the villages, children are studying under the trees. They don't eat food. They're not given breakfast. They don't have enough accessories. The scholastic materials are not enough. Right using sticks, right on the ground. The teachers are lacking. They are not being paid. And the teachers that study, the teachers who come to teach are not the ones of the standard that they're supposed to be. They just go and pick anybody from anywhere. You come and teach, even if you don't qualify, just to make it that to make it like everybody is at school. That is what happens in the villages.
Nancy, is there a sound in the background? Because I'm getting a lot of water sound.
Sorry?
Is there some sound or someone's phone near you? Because I'm getting a lot of echoing. Does someone have a phone beside you that they have the volume up? Because I'm getting that like a water sound.
Can you please put it on the screen? I didn't get you very well.
I can't hear you, Nancy.
It is raining this way.
Is it raining there?
Yes.
Okay. That explains the water. Okay. I just want to make sure that you have good stuff so we can get this out to people. So we are streaming to a different country, guys. So please be patient with the sound. As Nancy has mentioned, it is raining, so there is some little echo coming in, but we're going to do our best to get this out there and get the information out there that we can.
Okay.
So Nancy, we have a question here. We have a question that came in for you, and it says, how does your organization help remove barriers like poverty, gender equality, and lack of resources? How does Gregory's Children and Youth's organization help with that?
Gender equality.
With
Like I had said, yes, as I said before, with Gregory, we involve everybody. We involve female, we involve male. And even us in our organization, we always give chance to female workers. We have female workers, we have male workers. Even when we go deep in the villages to collect those children, we always give them equal chances. Boys and girls, we make sure that because for us, our motto is what a boy can do, a woman can do it, or a girl can do it. We are all equal. If I say, now I can be able to go to the garden as a woman, a man can also go to the garden. Yes, if a boy can be first or can get first class in studies, even a woman or a girl can also get first class. So we always make sure that we practice. We make sure that it is a girl and a boy. If we have 5 boys, we will also make sure that we get 5 girls. Yes, we should make it equal. Even our workers, we've always given chance when we are employing. We have always employed female workers and male workers, and we give them same privileges.
Nancy, can you share a personal story that the organization has changed a child's life, like a story that stands out to you?
Yes, there is when we started this organization, our organization started like everybody was this thing is not going. We had that negativity. Everybody was backlashing. We are not going. This thing is not going to go through. This thing is going to go, is not going to go through. But now in our organization, Gregory, we have children whom we started with who are sitting exams next month, this coming month. They're sitting exams, and one of them is a girl who is 12. She's 12 years old. She's sitting P7 here. They call it primary level, primary living examination. When you leave primary, you go to the secondary level, the second level. So she's sitting for primary living examination soon. But when we brought her from the village, we brought her with her grandmother, and should be the one going to the villages digging for different people to earn a living. When we brought that girl, actually I stay with her. She's with me now. I make sure that she should be an example to everybody who is outside there. I always move with her whenever I go to campaigns or when we are going for outreaches. I use her as an example. Even when we go to their villages, I take her with me, and I tell them this is a story, a true story that this girl can wake up and share with everybody. It has helped in such a way that this girl was young, she was vulnerable, she didn't even know that she would reach where she has reached. But when I brought her, I came with her. I brought her, and she was the one of the girls who started with us with Gregory. Now she's sitting P7, and next year she's going to the secondary. She's going to secondary, and she will be as an example, or she will be the one giving stories. She's telling stories to people in where we started from as Gregory. And another thing is, me as Nancy, Gregory has helped me to live my story or to make my dream come true. Because this is what I had always wanted. When I was growing up, I grew up as a vulnerable, like we started. I grew up as a vulnerable. So I thought working with Gregory would help me expose my soul or tell my story to other people. Because most of people outside there, they don't know, they may see us like this and they will not know what it is, what someone goes through where they are. So when I sit down and give myself as an example, they will get to know my story, and it will help them to achieve or to come out of the dark, wherever they will have hidden themselves, to come out and they feel like, okay, since this one was also like us, let us also come out and be able to see the light and be able to share our stories with other people. Because I was also once vulnerable. If it was not for Mr. Gregory, I would not have reached where I am. It was Mr. Gregory who went to the village and picked me up and was like, you know what, Nancy? You have to go to school. You are a vulnerable. You have the right to be at school. You have the right to access good life. You have the right to be okay. So, for me, it was like an inspiration. It was an inspiration. I wanted to be living example. I wanted to be an example. I wanted at least Mr. Gregory to be wherever he is and say, yes, this is Nancy. This is my product. It's because of me that Nancy is now like this. And he is very proud of me, proud of us. And I say hello to Mr. Gregory.
Now, Nancy, I want to talk about sports because you sent me some amazing pictures in my email with all of the kids playing soccer and that. Let's talk about sports on how Gregory's Children and Youths organization does for sports in your village and in the community as well.
Sorry, I need to put it on the screen. I'm not getting this very well. Explaining, madam.
Can you hear me, Nancy?
You can put it on the screen.
Let's talk about the sports that the organization does.
Yes, madam. We do organize games and sports as an organization. And we make sure, as the saying goes, we make sure that our children are engaged in sports and games. We explore their talents. Of course, some of the children, like everybody, we have different talents, and we always make sure that we engage children in talent explosion. There are some do sports, they do football, they run, athletics, so we always engage them. We make children in different schools, like as we said before, our children that we sponsor, they are in a different school. So we make sure that they are active, there is active participation of those children in the schools, in whatever school they are in. We ensure they provide them with whatever necessity, whether the sportswear, the playing boots, the ball, whatever that is required, we ensure that we provide them so that they actively participate. Even as the team for the February, we always go and do friendly matches with the schools, the school organizations, and those other people during our campaigns to make sure that we be examples. We live for us here in Gregory, we live by example. So we participate in sports and games in the organization.
So we have another question here. I just typed it in so that you can see it, Nancy. I'm going to pull it up. And it says, what partnerships or community support have you gotten in Uganda or outside of Uganda for your back to school programs?
Okay. The partnership, the support that we have, yes, we have gotten some support. Like when it comes to school, to education, there are always some schools that we engage with that support us while paying school fees for these vulnerable children that we always take there. When we take children to school, they always give us a bursary. Out of 100, they pay 20%, and then we take up for the 80%. They always give us when it comes to education. Then when it comes to health, we always partner with those hospitals, the referral hospitals, the government hospitals, so that we pay little money and then they cater for the rest of the bills. We have always gotten those support internally in the country, but not yet outside. At least they facilitate half of the fund and then we cater for the remaining one.
We have another question that came in. I just typed it in so you can read it, Nancy. It says, what role do global and viewers of Miss Liz's platform play in supporting your vision?
Sorry?
What roles do global and viewers of Miss Liz's platform play in supporting your vision?
Okay, it is like when we are when we are on this platform, we are going to be able to go globally. And when we go globally, it is going to help to be known. Everybody is going to be seeing us. They will be aware. They will know Gregory, children and youth organization. And when we get to be known globally, of course, people will come out with ideas, they will support, they will see ways of helping. They may fund, they may want to come and engage, they can come and pay a visit, they want to come on ground and see how we are doing our things, and also give us some views or some support somewhere and somehow. We will also be able, most important, we will be known globally and we will be able to find people who can at least put this Gregory and this youth organization on another level.
The next question that we have is, what is the biggest challenge your organization faces today?
The biggest challenge is, for now, the challenge that we face, the biggest one is rejection. At some point, it becomes hard and very, very hard for us, not so when we are starting this thing. When we go to the villages, you go and convince someone that, you know what, we have an organization, we are taking care of children, we are doing this, we are doing this. So it becomes hard for us to convince someone to accept immediately what we are doing. Another challenge is in our office, structure. We need structure and financial support. We need to do these things on a global organization to be known globally, we need support. We need people come up and tell us and put us on the platform so that everybody can know about us. And so that we can be able to help the people, the children of Uganda, even if not Uganda, but the whole globe. They need us. We need to do. There are a lot of vulnerables outside there. They need us. We need partners.
Nancy, can you hear me? I think she's frozen. Nancy, can you hear me? So as Nancy was sharing, their biggest challenge right now is partnerships and funding. Of course, funding is something that all organizations are struggling with, but we need to really look into how we can better children's educations worldwide. I believe she just lost connection, but we're hoping that she can get back. And let's get some of these other questions answered through the questions that are coming in. She's having trouble hearing because it's really, the weather over there is really bad. So I just want to make sure that she's getting this out and we can get good content out there for her and her organization. If you haven't checked them out, you can find out more about Gregory Children and Youth Organization on their YouTube channel. You can also find out more on their Twitter channel, Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it. I've been popping that up on the screen for all my audio listeners. That will be all in the description and all that, so you can find out more information. I really just want to make sure that we get these different countries out there, different education. And again, as one of the comments came in, I want to put it up. Education is a right, not a privilege. We really got to get that out there, that all children have the right to get their education. Again, I'm popping up their YouTube channel. Check that out. I'm hoping that she can get back on. If she can't get back on, be sure to check them out. And again, we are going right into Uganda tonight. Uganda. So I'm in Canada. So there's two different countries joining together through a virtual conversation. So anybody that has any questions or would like to know more about the organization, you can reach out to me and I can direct you straight to Nancy or Nelson, all of her team out there. She has an amazing team out there. They do a lot of incredible stuff for sports for these children. They're helping a lot of kids make a difference. I'll be sharing some pictures over the next couple of days of all the incredible stuff that they've done this year with the children. I'm hoping that she can get back on. If she can't get back on, we're going to wrap it up, but I'm going to give her a few minutes. So if anybody has any questions that you'd like to ask, you can send them into the studio or DM me. If you'd like to stay private, you're more than welcome to do that as well. I do take private DMs because I do notice some people prefer to stay private and not have their name seen and let others see that you're watching Teatim, and that's okay with me. But we're going to give her a second or two and see if she can sign back on. I do have some questions here that have come in from people that are watching, and I will get those questions out to Nancy, and Nancy can answer them either through a video or through emails. We can do it that way as well for all of you guys out there. We will get these questions answered for you guys. Again, tonight her tea was sports, games, empowerment, and the story of education. And as you heard Nancy share her story of education, it wasn't always easy for her. So we have to make sure that we get other children to have an easier time when it comes to education. Words that describe Nancy were passionate, loving, and God's people. She's got a good heart and a good soul. So check her out. Check out her platform. Again, check out their YouTube channel. I'm going to guess that she can't get back on. So we're going to wrap it up. We're going to do a closing summary, and we'll see how we can make a difference by just sharing this tea time out. So I'm asking all of my viewers and listeners out there, if you could just share this tea time out, just spread the word, because that's how a ripple effect happens, is when we share one tea time at a time, we actually impact the world and we actually make a difference in a person's life. You might just change a child's life by sharing this tea time out with your viewers, your community, investors, all of that good stuff. You just never know who's watching tea time and who's supporting all of the different messages that are coming across the board. So tonight's closing summary is, I want to thank Nancy for bringing her heart, her leadership, and her unstoppable dedication to this table. She reminded us that education is a great energy engine of process, and that every child deserves not only a seat in the classroom, but a future filled with hope. The stories shared tonight illuminate a powerful truth. When we empower one child, we uplift a family. When we uplift a family, we strengthen the community. When we strengthen the community, we change the world. To everyone watching, may this conversation spark generosity, remind you of your own teachers and mentors and inspired you to support the dreams of your youth wherever you are. Each of us has the power to make sure a child feels seen, a child feels capable, a child feels ready to close and chase their opportunities instead of fear. Until the next tea time, keep serving love and planting seeds of lasting change, one child at a time. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Again, check out their YouTube channel, check out their X channel, Twitter channel. And if you need to know anything more about Gregory's Children and Youth Organization, check out Miss Liz's platforms, and I'll be happy to share all that information with you and connect you to Nancy directly. Until then, I will see everybody tomorrow afternoon for the 500th episode of Tea Time with Miss Liz. And we're doing the 500th episode with Global Sprouts. So again, education is deeply important for this platform, deeply important to Miss Liz's heart. We do not teach a beverage at this table. We teach teaching educational awareness through words, through stories, through support, through community, through awareness. That is what we do with Tea Time with Miss Liz. So again, thank you all for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon with Global Sprouts, and we'll do this all over again, and we'll make a difference one cup of tea at a time. Until then, keep sharing these tea times out, because they do make a difference one tea at a time. Take care and have a good night.